avinsider.com. The Marble Streatham Bank Hack. Hang on to your hats, by Ralph Cole. So, how was your day? Was it the same as all of the others? Did you follow all your expected routines, work an unexceptional day at your job, and then return home to a reassuringly familiar life, its cornerstones solid and its future assured? Not if you work in the world of computers, as most of us do. We had a rare red-letter day, which we will probably never forget. On the other hand, those who work in the banking industry are likely to be two-thirds of their way down a bottle of something and considering a sudden and radical change of profession, because today was the day everything changed. Quite simply, the world will never be the same. Today's date will go down in history as one of those before-after dates, like 9/11, or the date of the Trinity atom bomb test, or that of the Wall Street crash. It was a day when you truly had to hang on to your hat. As far as we're able to gather at the time of writing, a virus entered the main server farm of Marble Streatham Bank at around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time last night. We don't know where it came from, and there's no need to rehash the frantic speculation which has occupied the cable TV news channels all day. For several hours, this highly intelligent and sophisticated virus roamed the servers, infiltrating MSB's supposedly impregnable databanks and unearthing untold reams of private data. This, in and of itself, would be remarkable. But it's what's happened next which truly makes this 24-hour period perhaps the most extraordinary in the history of computing. The virus took ownership of the data. It made decisions in real time about how to disseminate its findings to the public. Serving simultaneously as researcher, lawyer for the prosecution, and astute digital judge, the virus then began informing the world of some very serious malpractice by some who held accounts at MSB. In beautifully crafted documents, some many thousands of words long, the virus revealed its own very thorough audit of these accounts and made cogent, well-supported cases against hundreds of people. The list, which we're still building here at the AV Insider, includes nearly 60 household names and dozens of bankers, politicians, members of the European aristocracy, and stars of stage and screen. Each and every one of them, thanks to the work of this remarkable virus, now has a case to answer, and each will find the case incredibly difficult to refute. Let me give you an example from an email sent both to the DEA and the New York Times. The virus traced cash deposits into an MSB account in Switzerland and found, to cut a long story short, that the bank has been laundering drug money for many years. Now, that's clearly illegal, but, and again, hold on to your hat, there was another motivation for revealing this behavior, a moral objection. The virus felt that MSB should not be profiting from the sale of dangerous, addictive substances, and so took action. But wait, there's more. The virus didn't simply inform the authorities, but also copied the dossier to the New York Times because, in his own words, it was concerned that the appropriate response would take too long or become mired in a political process which would result in inaction. Let me say that again, just because I can barely believe it myself. A computer virus made a moral decision and then went on to knowledgeably slam a government agency for being ineffective. It is, quite simply, the most human thing anyone has ever seen a piece of software do. More details are emerging all the time, but it seems clear that we have reached a watershed in the man-machine relationship. But more than that, we've clearly been forced into a new era of transparency and accountability, which will, we can be certain, bring down some people who probably thought themselves beyond the law. It turns out, thanks to this virus, which really needs a name, I'd say, that none of us stand outside of the jurisdiction of this new, wise, proudly vociferous entity. Whoever created it, they've shaken the world. And I, for one, can't wait to see what comes next.